Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a fun weekend. The lighting in here is a bit funky today, so I'll do my best to get it right. So I hope all your mums got a bit of a rest yesterday. We had fun and a delicious lunch. So you can check out the pictures on my page or in the stories. I really do love chili mud crab. My children thought they were hilarious making me wear that bib. So for those of you who are new to the page, welcome. I'm Ange Sinclair and I'm the Digestive Detective. So the birthday giveaway, have you entered? Today's the last day, so it gets drawn tomorrow. So for those of you on Instagram, the link is in the bio. And for your Facebookers, the link will be above this post. I'll pop it straight in there. So the prize is a stool test from Microba. So you will get sent a stool test in the mail. So it's a home sample kit. You just need to take the test and send it back to them. And then you'll get a 50-minute consult with me telling you what you can add into your diet and to your lifestyle improvements to help improve your gut bacteria. So this is just not for people who have gut problems. If you have thyroid issues or autoimmune or arthritis or anything like that, bad periods, this will help you. So if you haven't already signed up, you do have to be an Australian to sign up for the giveaway, but do that because that will be helpful for you. And the other thing is it won't just improve your gut health, it'll improve your whole health in particular. So last week we spoke about constipation, and I will continue to share the causes on my social media this week. So for me, finding the constipation and work at fixing it is definitely the way to go. So if you have hypothyroid, get your thyroid back to optimal, which is an ongoing job, I know. If you're magnesium deficient, which most constipated people are, you should be taking magnesium daily. So some important things to start with when we're looking at constipation. There's a couple of things. Increase your water intake. And I see lots of people who are chronically constipated and drinking nowhere enough water throughout the day to get their stool moving. So for all of us, we are 70% water, so it just makes sense that we should be having water regularly. And I'm really guilty of this because I hate the taste of water. So getting more into my diet is a real struggle. It's easier because my husband's home. He is bringing me cups of tea and hot water and things like that, so I'm much better at it. So water is a real thing because it helps the peristalsis of our bowel and it helps move poo along our digestive tract. So we want to have some more of that. Eating more soluble and insoluble fiber, really important. Most of us are not getting enough every day. I don't know what's going on with my hair this morning, but it's driving me nutters. So I don't think any of these foods that I'm going to talk about today will shock you. But I tend to use them slightly differently to see better results. And the first one for me is prunes. So prunes are naturally high in sorbitol and alcohol sugar. So sorbitol is not readily absorbed by our body. It pulls water right into the bowels and has a total laxative effect throughout our bowel. So people who are constipated, I think of them as being internally dry. So adding a fruit or dried anything is not so great. So if you are going to add prunes to your diet, my suggestion is you soak the prunes so they're covered in water for at least 3 hours. And you want them to be really soft when you eat them. So if you are not a prune eater, start low and go slow. If you are a prune eater and they don't tend to make much difference for you, then you can start a little bit higher. But what I suggest to you is drink the water first that you've got the prunes in, then eat the prunes. And with some clients, I actually get them to put the water into a smoothie and then put the prunes in as well if they don't like prunes. Now, the great thing about prunes, for women who are perimenopausal, menopausal or postmenopausal, there is some really good evidence to show that prunes help improve your bone density as well. So it's pretty much a win-win for me. That would be one of the things that I see for most people will work to get bowels moving. Number 2 is for me kiwi fruits. They're really high in fiber. They have an enzyme in them called actinidin. And this enzyme helps to increase our bowel motility, essentially. So the studies that we've had done around that show us it helps not only with the frequency, but also how easy we pass the stool as well. Kiwi fruits are also brilliant if you have any sleep issues, but you need to take up to 2 a day. The research has been on 2 a day. I always recommend buying organic ones because then you can eat the skin, which has a really high nutrient content, and it's also slightly irritating to the bowel. So this will encourage a bit of activity to get moving. So the next one is number 3, I find, is chia seeds. So one of the most fiber-rich foods, but I see people eat them the wrong way over and over again. It's 85% insoluble fiber and 15% soluble fiber. So for constipation, it's a really, really great choice. So most people add, and this is the mistake that I see, most people add things as dry seeds. So you remember how I said constipated people are really dry? So adding dry on dry, not that helpful. So with chia in particular, chia can absorb 12 times its weight in water. So it's often used by marathoners to help them hold water in their bodies longer, which is important when you're running that far. So imagine a constipated dry body that ingests chia and it absorbs all your water. Hello, blockage and or obstruction. So I think I have heard of people being rushed to emergency department, having to be unblocked for chia. So be really careful with chia seeds. Chia needs to be soaked overnight and it cannot absorb any more water then before you use it. So overnight's the best time, around 24 hours. And you can soak it in water or milk. And once they are soaked, they become really mucilaginous, which means they're a bit slimy. And they'll pass through your intestines like a broom, essentially, and they will move things quite quickly, but they're also full of amazing vitamins and minerals that come with them. So chia is fantastic. I have seen people being taken to an emergency room because of eating dry chia. I don't recommend it. The other thing I say about chia is once it's soaked, if you soak it in water, you can add it into scrambled eggs, into meats and stuff or vegetables and stuff that you're cooking, because it's already soaked. It won't take up any more liquid, and that's how, if you're constipated, that's how you want to use it. So number 4 for me is flaxseed, so one of my favorite ones. For best results, I think you need to use ground flax. So you can grind them yourself, is pretty effective. And I just use my coffee grinder because I don't drink coffee, so I use it to grind up flax seeds and herbs, spice seeds. So if you already buy them ground, buy them from the fridge section at your health food shop, because they need to be in the fridge once they're ground. So like all seed oils, they go rancid pretty quickly once they're cracked. So keep them in the fridge. And I generally grind them as I need them because you don't want them sitting around. A lot of the seed oils and stuff you buy, they're off already before you even get them home. And with flax, I think a tablespoon of flax in your smoothies. You can put them over if you make a homemade Bircher muesli or cooked muesli or something like that. They're really good to add on the top because they give a really nutty crunch. They really have a really nutty flavour, flax seeds. I love them. Number 5 for me is coconut oil. So coconut oil is made up from medium chain fatty acids, and medium chain fatty acids stimulate bowel movements, and they also soften the stool. So I always get people to take it before bed because then that makes your contractive wave work overnight. So you wake up in the morning and need to go to the bathroom. So start with just 1 tablespoon of extra virgin coconut oil. And look, you can take it off the spoon or you can put it in some hot water and stir it up and then drink it, which is an old Ayurvedic way to take it. So I think that's a really good thing. And for most people, they don't have to take that daily. And make sure that you're getting enough good oils in your diet. So throughout the day, you have salad dressing, flaxseed oil. I love flaxseed oil over eggs, over poached eggs. Delicious. But again, if you're buying flaxseed oil, make sure it comes from a fridge because about the rancidity. Once all nuts are out of the shell, they tend to go rancid pretty quick. So number 6 for me is psyllium seed. Psyllium seed's not my favorite, but I think lots of people like them. So they increase the bulk in our stool. They draw the water into the bowel. And what they do is slightly different to the other things. We have a stretch receptor in our bowel. When our bowel feels as full as it will go, we get a trigger that says you need to have a bowel movement. So psyllium seed works by increasing that stretch receptor and then triggers our bowel movement. It's also pretty irritating to the bowel, and so not everybody loves how difficult psyllium is to take, because it's not one of the easiest things to take. I tend to, if I use psyllium, do it in a bread loaf that I sometimes have. I make a bread loaf, and it's pretty effective in that. So these are the foods with the greatest research around them for constipation, both with studies and with what I've seen in clinic to be the biggest movers. And yeah, that's a pun right there. They get things moving. So there is also, the other thing I wanted to mention about things that you could do are probiotics. There's some fantastic strains, specific strains of probiotics that have been shown to help with the motility of the bowel and constipation. So they actually work on the peristalsis. So I think that's worth knowing and buying those specific strains to see if it will work for you. So for me, as a sufferer of constipation for over 40 years, I do know what works and doesn't work for most people quite well now. So I can get you moving pretty quickly, and that's a pun intended there too. So if it's the longer term piece of that, to keep you moving is more challenging, because there is a certain emotional component that goes to constipation as well, which most people never explore. They just go, oh, it's to do with the food and stuff. That's not always the case. So if you struggle with constipation and you'd like to know what to do next, why don't you book in for a free 15-minute consult? The link is in the bio for Instagram, and it's www.digestivedetective.com.au for Facebook. And again, please, if you haven't joined the Microba giveaway, today's your last day. You've got till 5 o'clock. Do it. It's such a great test. It will give you so much information about your health, and even if you have nothing wrong with you and you follow the page, get in there, because it's something that will give you a lot of information about how your health is today and how you compare to other people, healthy people who have done the test, and it's worth doing, and it's free. Get into it. Have a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow for Transformation Tuesday. Enjoy the sunshine. Thanks, guys. Bye.